Good morning, Journey family. Pastor Stephen here, coming to you on Wednesday, August 12th. And I have a word continuing through John chapter 15, the Gospel of John chapter 15, talking about abiding in Jesus. So John 15, verse 9 says, "As the Father has loved me, so have I loved you. Abide in my love." How do we abide in God's love? That sounds like something we would want to do every day, to be close to the Father, to experience His great love for us. How do we do that? Verse 10, "If you keep my commandments, you will abide in my love. If you keep my commandments, you will abide in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in His love." This is incredible, because what Jesus is saying is, we could do, by the power of the Holy Spirit, the same thing He did. When Jesus walked this earth, fully God, fully man, He abided in the Father's love. And He's telling us right here, in John chapter 15, 9, 10, 11, how do we abide in the Father's love? We obey the Father's commands, just like Jesus obeyed the Father's commands. That's how He abided in the Father's love. This is amazing. It's so simple, and yet so challenging for us. See, the simple things aren't necessarily, the simple things aren't necessarily the easy things. Sometimes something complicated can be easy. Sometimes something very simple can be very hard. And here, with this command here, this reality that if we want to abide in the Father's love today, then we need to obey His commands. So what has the Father asked you to do? What step of obedience is God asking you to take today? Because God's blessing always comes on the other side of obedience. And I know for me, I know for you, the Father has love He wants to impart to you. The Father has grace He wants to impart to you. And He wants to do that impartation as you abide in Him. How do you abide in the Father's love? Obey His commands. Verse 11, "These things I've spoken to you, that my joy may be in you and your joy may be full." What's the result of abiding in the Father's love? Is full joy. How do we get so full of joy that it just overflows into the lives of others and affects our home, affects our parenting, affects our job? Well, we need the joy of Jesus poured into us. How do we get the joy of Jesus? Obey God's commands. Now remember, in the gospel, obedience is not something that earns anything from God. We are accepted, therefore we obey. We're already accepted by God. And God is saying, if you want to experience more joy, more fullness, more love, then be obedient. So what does the Lord ask you to do today? Go obey. Go obey in the power of the Holy Spirit what God has asked you to do. And watch as His love floods into your life to a greater degree, because it's already there. And watch as the fullness of the joy of Jesus begins to pour into your life as you abide in the Father's love through obedience. So amazing here. John chapter 15, verses 9 through 11. I encourage you to read this text and meditate on this passage and watch as God moves in huge ways in your life today. You are greater in the eyes of the Lord than you are in your own. Love you, church.